It's Dew Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Dew Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you all week? We started off the week shaking the Monday morning blues, and we were talking about the things that people find just so revolting, and it's the everyday things the other people do, and it's like you don't realize that you're like bugging someone when you do this. They mention when you wear your baseball cap on the inside, especially when dining. People do actually find that offensive. Now, people say, well, what does a hat have to do with, me eating? What? Listen, it is what it is. You can't be upset that makes people upset. What else did they talk about? Oh, this one was a big one. How you behave in public. Obnoxious behavior, especially in restaurants, again. And people are not appreciating you just all over their conversation, and you're yelling and you're screaming. And again, they consider it to be obnoxious. You consider it to be normal. But it actually really, gets people crazy. So, the whole point of the matter is we all have our pet peeves, and everybody's not going to like something that someone else does, and this is going to irritate something, and it's just a nothing. It's a big old nothing thing. But at the end of the day, it actually bothers someone. So, when we're doing things that could be, now we're not talking about somebody who's just breathing and somebody's mad because they breathing, but things that you're really doing, like being obnoxious in a restaurant. Remember, you're not there by yourself. You're not eating alone, and you really need to be concerned about how other people do feel. So, we pulled out some verses. Outdo one another with love. And it seemed like that was the mantra for the actual week. That was the crazy part. We talked to our girlfriend Vivian on Wow Wednesday, and she brought some stuff. Well, $30. That sounds like a great thing for minimum wage amount, and they're trying to reach that in New York City by 2030. Well, the Dew Time crew, as well as the Dew Time viewers, we're saying, how are they going to offset that? How are they going to balance that? Are they going to take it out on us that we're getting more money, and now they're going to be raising the prices all over the place? And that's a big possibility. I personally don't see it happening any differently. We had the update a few times this week regarding this teacher that was killed while the prank was going on by his students, and they TP'd his house, and he ended up tripping and falling and getting run over by the car that was fleeing, only to find out that supposedly the teacher knew that they were coming, and he couldn't wait to meet them, and catch them in the act. And, the wife has said, he loved these kids. He gave his life to these kids. Please do not press any charges. So, listen, they're I guess deliberating on this thing, and we'll see how it turns out. Will you be able to walk away with just allowing your conscience to be your guide? You're supposed to feel sorry for the rest of your life for what you did to your favorite teacher. You're in mourning, and the student stepped out and came out with an apology and a statement, and he's going to spend the rest of his life living in Christ to honor this teacher who he mistakenly killed. So I don't know. We said here, listen, something has to be a form of a punishment. You just can't be saying I'm sorry and calling it a day. So we'll see how it goes over in Georgia. Well, last but not least, the lawsuit that is being posed against AI chat GPT, as well as a woman who took the advice of chat GPT and fired her live human attorney. And now they're up against a lawsuit. So we'll see how this all plays out. Okay. Well, yesterday was Therapeutic Thursday, and we got to talking about some manners that the Gen Z say, listen, I don't have that. That's not ill manners, bad manners. But the older generation say, please do not scroll on your phone while I'm talking to you, which seems to be their thing. You know, they might have got a multitask. They're not really paying attention. Can't tell them that. But, you know, that's exactly what it is. You know, they're talking about other things such as being present instead of taking photos. You know, we're asking for photos, but yet we're asking you to be there, but yet you rather take selfies and things like that. And it's like, okay, well, how are we going to do this thing here? We deem it as rude. They deem it as something that's normal. Well, we talked about that shaking hands during introductions, and you know that has always been the official greeting, especially when you're meeting people like in business. You want to give them a firm handshake, you want to look them in the eye, and the Gen Zs don't do it. Well, guess what? You need to go back to yesterday's episode and listen to Shantice talk about how she feels about shaking hands. And oh my, you may get an entirely different view on shaking hands. So listen, that was our week plus more. Shantice held down Let's Talk About It Tuesday, Church Folk Day. So you definitely want to go back and check that out with her, Pastor Vinny, and Pastor KL. It was a fantastic day. So we've been living it up here on this Due Time with Pastor Steph. I don't know about you. I don't know where you've been, but I hope you've been hanging out with us, because if you have not, you've really been missing it. Well, today is Freestyle Friday. It's the end of the week, y'all. We made it. Thanks to God. We made it. And this is truly a celebrity day. I got lots to talk about, but a lot of it got to do with the celebrities. But, you know, it's kind of stimulating conversation as to how we handle everyday, you know, life. So, hey, let's do it. All right. So go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody, anybody, everybody that it's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back.
I told you that losing sleep can take years off your life, and most black men are living on less rest than we need. Here are 3 things every black man should know about sleep and recovery. Tip number 1, sleep is not lazy, it's survival. Black adults are more likely to sleep under 6 hours a night, and that lack of rest raises your risk for heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. Tip number 2, recovery isn't just physical. Sleep is when your brain clears toxins and repairs memory. No rest means more stress, more forgetfulness, and more burnout. And tip number 3, small shifts make a big difference. Turning off screens an hour earlier, keeping a dark room, or even 20 minutes of extra sleep each night lowers stress and helps your body heal. Rest is not weakness, it's armor. Protect it now so it protects you later. Healing.
Good morning, and good. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph, and it is Freestyle Friday. Whoa. Thanks be to God we made it through the week. Whether it was great, whether it was rough, we're here. And God has seen to it that we are here. So we might as well live it up and do what we do and have a good time. So if you're in the room, please let me know so that I can say good morning to you. We got to check in from our girl, Ketty. Hey, Ketty. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We got to check in from Love. Thank you so much, Love. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We got to check in from our lady girl, Tamika. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we must say good morning to the ladies that hold us down each and every day. Boy, they do their job. They make sure we're up and just moving. Let's say good morning to Shantice. Good morning, Shantice. And let's say good morning to our girl, Anika. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanking you for all that you do. Miss Grace, if you're out there, we're going to say good morning. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you have a blessed and pleasant day. Well, I told you we're going to do this celebrity thing today. Big time. Yeah, I couldn't find a whole lot of regular news, but the celebrity news definitely took us into some real stuff. So we are, this Oscar thing and this the N-word thing. This has been a big thing over these last few weeks, and they showed a list of the actors and actresses with the most Oscar nominations. So let's see who shows up on this list, because I didn't look at it at all. I want to be surprised. All right. Well, Forrest Whitaker has one nomination, and he received that one Academy Award nomination, and he actually won for that unforgettable performance as Idi Amin in The Last King of Scotland. And we know that Forrest Whitaker has been out for a minute, y'all, and he has done many movies. He stepped into his director role on Waiting to Exhale. So, he went from actor to, director. So, hey, big ups to you. All right. Now, I don't know who this is. Danny Kaluuya. He has two okay, I guess I know who this is now. He has his two Oscar nominations for his performance in Get Out, and he later won Best Supporting Actor for his role as Fred Hampton in Judas and the Black Messiah. And he's all right. Yeah, I guess he does his job. Yeah, I remember him in Get Out. I remember him in Black Panther. And I did not see Judas and the Black Messiah, but he won a nomination. He won his award for that, Best Supporting. Sidney Poitier, yes, he made his debut many years ago. He is an old school. He has left us, and there were two nominations for him, and one, it was Best Actor for Lilies of the Field. Okay, that's one he did win. All right, so. All right, I never saw Lilies in the Field. Must be like the black and white movies. I don't know. Whoopi Goldberg. Wow, we're talking about the actors and actresses who have received the most nominations from the Oscars. Now, she earned two Oscar nominations. She was nominated for Best Actress in The Color Purple, and then she won Best Supporting Actress for her role in Ghost. Remember, that was with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. She was good. I'm surprised that they gave her an award for that one. Angela Bassett has received two nominations, and one was for What's Love Got to Do with It, and the other one was for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And Those are her two. With all that she's done, what's love got to do with it? Black Panther. She's done what Malcolm X. She's done. Done a ton of. She's on point. She rocks her roles. She is no slouch. But hey, that's all she got was 2 nominations. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He is Mahershala Ali. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He's received 2 nominations, and he actually won both times. And he earned his Best Supporting Actor awards for Moonlight and Green Book. Now, I haven't seen any. I do know who this is, though. And the things that I've seen him in, he's actually okay. He does his thing. Octavia Spencer has received 3 nominations for an Oscar. 1 for The Help, 1 for Hidden Figures, and 1 for The Shape of Water. And she ended up winning Best Supporting Actress for The Help. All right. I did not see The Help, and I did not see Hidden Figures, despite the fact that I have been dying to see that, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Viola Davis. She has earned nominations for Doubt, The Help, Fences, and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And she was really good in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. She was really good in that. She won Best Supporting Actress for Fences, and she's a killer. She's a monster in the acting field. Her and Angela Bassett and Taraji P. Henson. And you got some killer women out here. And this is why I say, go start your own. Why are we waiting for these people and we don't get recognized? I don't know. Morgan Freeman has received 5 Oscar nominations. Now, we know Morgan Freeman been around forever. Okay, and he received his 5 nominations for Street Smart, Driving Miss Daisy, The Shawshank Redemption, $1 Million Baby, and Invictus. And he won Best Supporting Actor for $1 Million Baby. What happened to Joe Clark? He did his thing in Joe Clark. It may not have been a movie that they wanted to watch, but he did his thing. I think he did more as Joe Clark than he did in The Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, he wasn't a whole lot in The Shawshank Redemption, but leave it up to them to kind of twirl us around on their finger. We got Driving Miss Daisy. I have never seen, and he kind of starred in that one, but 5 nominations. He won Best Supporting Actor for $1 Million Baby, and he's been in this game for decades. Denzel Washington, who has gotten 10 nominations. He holds the record for getting the most Oscar nominations by a Black actor. That's because you can't hide from him. Yeah, can't hide from Denzel. He's got Cry Freedom, Malcolm X, The Hurricane, Flight, Fences, Roman J. Israel, Esquire, and The Tragedy of Macbeth. And he actually won for Glory and Training Day. Can I tell y'all something? Y'all need to cut it out. Go get your own. Go make your own. All these millions of dollars you people have. For some reason, you will not start your own. I don't get it. You got 10 nominations and you get it for Training Day and Glory. If y'all don't feel like y'all being ripped off, I don't know. Because as a bystander, you're being ripped off to me. All right. So I got another list. Now, here are the Black actors and actresses who have never won an Oscar. Now, we didn't just heard who was nominated and if they won or not, but we really gonna take this out because, baby, I can name 15 off the top of my head that they should be smashing the Oscars with this garbage that goes on in their back room. Well, let's see. Listen, throw up in the chat room those who should have been, winners in of an Oscar. And let's see if they are on this list. Angela Bassett, we just got finished saying, she was nominated twice, and she has never won an award. Okay? Never, never, never. Yo, Samuel Jackson. See, they can't handle Samuel Jackson. Nah, because see, he rocks absolutely. I haven't seen, there's a couple of movies that Samuel Jackson has been in, and I haven't seen, those couple of movies, but everything I've seen Samuel Jackson in, he rocks it. I don't care whether he's playing a thug. I don't care if he's playing the crackhead. I don't care if he's playing someone with a suit on. I don't care what he's doing it. He has rocked that screen from the moment he stepped onto the screen, in front of that screen. He's even done well as a DJ. Remember when he was on Do the Right Thing and he was the DJ? He even rocked that, and he wasn't even really in the movie. So, Samuel Jackson, they can't handle Samuel Jackson. They can't handle him. Pulp Fiction. What else? Jungle Fever. Shaft. He's done what was that thing? Changing Lanes. Oh my goodness. So many different movies that he's done, and he has never, ever won an award. Lawrence Fishburne. Now, ever since he was yelling, "They killed cornbread! They killed cornbread!" and he didn't even do nothing. He was about 10 when he was doing that, when he was in that role. And he has been rocking it ever since. The Matrix, Deep Cover, Boys in the Hood. He has really, What's Love Got to Do with It? He has really rocked this screen and yet to be nominated for an award. Shame on y'all. Strike number 3. Angela, Samuel, Larry, Lawrence, whatever you want to call them. Strike 3. Strike 3. Strike 3. All righty. Taraji P. Henson. She's been in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Hidden Figures. What else? She's been in, oh my goodness. Well, she was in Baby Boy. They wasn't going to give her nothing for no Baby Boy. But she was in Baby Boy. She's been in, when you're trying to find these things, like, right out your head. But she rocks the screen. She rocks the screen. She really does. And, she has really come up. Really, really, really come up. And shame on y'all. Strike 4. Shame on you. Strike 4. Let's do that. Angela, Sam, Larry, Taraji. All right. Shame on you. Shame on you. No, this one here is a travesty. Don Cheadle. How dare you miss out on Don Cheadle? Hotel Rwanda. What's that one? Well, it wasn't Traffic. It was, I think, the writers of Traffic. But they gave the cast the cast an award for this movie. But Don Cheadle. Now, he does the Marvel franchise. Yes. Y'all really chumping off Don Cheadle? Y'all need to pack up the Oscars. Angela, Sam, Larry, Taraji, Don Cheadle. Shut it down, y'all. Shut it down. Who are you giving these awards to if you haven't given it to just these 5 people? We got a list. We're going to keep on going. Delroy Lindo. You know how long Delroy Lindo been in the business? Did y'all see him in The Five Bloods? Powerhouse acting. He acted like he had a mental issue, and that was believable. Trust me when I tell you. All right, you got him in Crooklyn, Malcolm X, again, The Five Bloods. You have him in so many other movies, and yet there you go. You just slided Angela, Sam, Larry, Taraji, Don Cheadle, Delroy Lindo. Let me see what y'all talking about over here. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me go to y'all so I can calm down a little bit. Because, man, oh my goodness gracious. All right. Katie says they are full of it. Sam Jackson is a great actor. Tamika says, yes, Sam Jackson coming to America. Samuel Jackson was in Coming to America? Yes, as the guy with the shotgun. Yo, Tamika, I forgot all about that. Anika says Samuel Jackson is also part of the Star Wars. Wow, I didn't know that. I'm not a Trekkie. Star Wars person. All right. Katie says Lawrence Fishburne, another great actor. All right. There you go. Hit it, Tamika. Regina King. Yes, from her talking to Mary on 227. She has come a far way, and her directing chops are on point. Travesty. Definitely Angela Bassett, great actress. Like her, says Kenny. We got another comment. For your eyes only. For Samuel Jackson, let's not forget what's in your wallet. He rocks it. He rocks what's in your wallet for Capital One Bank. Yes, because the guy who's doing it now, he's so whack. Yeah. He's cute, but he's whack. All righty. Let's get back to our list, y'all. Y'all keep throwing them in the chat room. I'm gonna keep on going from over here. Yo. Now, he would not get an award for, oh my goodness gracious. Oh, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Oh my goodness gracious. Idris Elba. Oh, he should get it just for the looks, y'all. Oh my goodness. Stringer Bell. He couldn't get it for Stringer Bell, but baby. He needed to get it for Stringer Bell. He was in Beast, No Nation, Mandela, Luther. Yes, he has really got a string of credits behind him. Now, let me tell you something. He's one of the few who have left a key role for something else, and he's done that something else. Yeah, I may not be all that, big into it, but he's kept it. He's also part of Marvel. What's his name? Thor. He's also part of that. Yo. So, okay, wait, we up. Okay, that's 7. We got Unisliding Angela, Sam, Larry, Taraji, Don Cheadle, and I got to cheat, y'all. Delroy Lindo and Idris Elba. Ooh, the list, they not finished. Michael B. Jordan. Now, here's what they did. They thought bringing out all of this for Sinners, that was going to give him, what he was going to get. But, oh well. But he's done his thing. Listen, another one from The Wire. Stringer Bell, Idris Elba from The Wire. He's from The Wire. Now, they cannot get Academy Award. Yes, they can if they want to. Yes, they can, because they do have series. Yeah, they don't have urban series, but they have series, so they could give them that. But listen, Michael B. Jordan, what's the name of the movie he played when he was the guy who got killed on the train? That was his first big breakout role. But he did Panther, which he tore that up. Everything he's in, Without Remorse, isn't that him? Without Remorse, that is him. Creed, he did the Creed trilogy. He's done his thing. Yeah. So you just slide it. Angela, Sam. Okay, I'm coming back to that. I got to do that, y'all, every once in a while. Regina Hall. Yo, crazy Regina Hall. She has done her thing over the years. She's done Scary Movie. They not doing that one on the Oscars, but still, she did her thing. Girls Trip. She's been in quite a few movies. Yes, she's Paid in Full. She's done her thing. The Honeymoon is Whack remake, but listen, she does her thing when she's on the screen. The Best Man. Yo, Where are these people? What are they doing? We got to check in from our girl, Teresa. What's going on? Teresa, thank you for joining us this morning. Oh, Danny Glover. Yo, Danny Glover did The Color Purple. He did Predator. He did, what's the one with Mel Gibson? He did what, 4 of them with Mel Gibson. That was Lethal Weapon. He's done so much powerful. I saw him on something else the other day, and I was like, yo, he really does his thing. He really does his thing, Danny Glover. Oh, wait, y'all. Yo, I'm looking at this list and I'm going crazy here. And y'all, I told y'all I love him from before. Giancarlo Esposito. Oh, makes my heart beat. Oh my goodness gracious. Yo, he is fierce. He is a silent terror. Silent terror. He was in Do the Right Thing, Breaking Bad. He was in this Parish. He did this series Parish. He was in Fresh. Yo, he's been all over the place. He was even in one of Martin Lawrence's movies. Was it? What's the? I think when he was playing with Elise Neal. Martin Lawrence was playing with Elise Neal. Blue Street. Was it Blue Street? It may have been Blue Street. Yo, rock the screen. He rocks the screen. He commands your attention. Oh my goodness gracious. Who else they got here? Alfred Woodard. Now, yo, homegirl is from straight old school. Her credits go 1.5 miles long. She rocks her roles. She has been in so many movies. So let me see. What's the one with Heart. What's the Shanti's? Give me the name. Heart. The one with oh my goodness. Oh wait, he didn't get one either. The one who's bald now. I gotta think of his name. Oh my goodness gracious. She was in The Family That Prays. She did a couple of movies like from down in the South. Yes. Alfred Woodard, she is old school royalty. All right. Right, with Ving Rhames. Right, she was with Holiday Heart. There you go. Holiday Heart. She was in Holiday Heart, and she played one wild crackhead. Yes. She was good. And she's another one who's a chameleon. She can change up. These people are so gifted and talented. Regina King is on this list. So, Tamika, you hit Regina King. If Beale Street Could Talk, and Watchmen, and Shirley. Yo, Shirley. Regina King was, what's this one she did with the hat on? I can't think of the harder they fall, something like that. Justice, Poetic Justice. She's been in quite what did she do with what's his name? Tom Cruise? Wasn't that Tom Cruise she did that movie with? Y'all gotta give me that one. Y'all gotta give me the movie. All right. Okay, this one here. Shanti says she likes her. Tessa Thompson. I'm not impressed with Tessa Thompson. She's done Thor. She's done Creed. She's done what's the one with the women? What's the one they threw the baby out the window? Yeah. I don't like Tessa Thompson. So y'all gonna hear me hollering for her. Sorry. Cicely Tyson. Cicely Tyson has been on TV since TV was invented. And they never gave Cicely an award. And she went into the grave with no award. She's definitely, listen, Miss Jane Pittman was enough. That one right there. She should have won 9 awards for that one. She was in Roots. 900 awards for that one. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me see what y'all got, because I can think of Ving Rhames. He should have gotten something all these years. He didn't been in different movies. He should have gotten at least one, even a nomination. He hasn't even gotten a nomination, y'all. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see if I can catch up with y'all. Okay. All righty. Tamika says, Delroy Lindo, that's Brother Al's dude. Okay. No acknowledgement from us, but recognized in London by BAFTA. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they did. I was telling Shantice, they did some story about this guy who was on the red carpet for one of the awards, and he recognized or acknowledged Delroy Lindo as a newbie, and he was done. And we were like, who are they putting up here? You don't know your people? Listen, go take your mic in the back room somewhere. How you on the red carpet? You don't know who you're talking to. Yeah, so they out there. Anika says, yes, Don Cheadle is underrated. They missed a lot of greats. Yes, indeed, Idris. Yes. Yes, we got that correction, Tamika. And Anika says, yes, Esposito, another one they already always miss. Yep. Yes, Color Girls for Tessa. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You and Shantice gave me the Color Girls, Anika. Cicely will get hers 20 years from now. Shaking my head. Right, Tamika? Right? When her great grandchildren are, coming in the sandbox, she'll get it. They need to be slapped for Cicely Tyson. Kenny says, Michael Clark Duncan. Yes. Good one. A good one. Definitely. Michael Clark Duncan, the Green Mile, excuse me. He did, oh, no, stop the press. Ernie Hudson. Yo, where has he been in the Oscars? This man has been all over the screen, and he has yet to get an award, even a nomination. We got Wood Harris. Yes, Anika. Wood Harris, he's a quiet storm. Yes. Wood Harris is a quiet storm. I'm gonna tell you who else is a goodie. What's his name? Hornsby, Russell Hornsby. He does his thing. Him and Regina King did 60 seconds or something seconds. It was a Netflix movie, but these people have definitely been cheated. They've definitely been cheated. Shame on them. Thank y'all for playing that game with me. I so appreciate you. All righty. Let's see what we're talking about here. Yo, did y'all hear the story about Rihanna's home in Beverly Hills? Yo, this crazy chick who claims that Rihanna stole from her and did all of this stuff to her. Rihanna has never met this person, but they said she's got her husband, I think it's her ex-husband, has said that back a while ago, I think latter part of the year, last year, what they did was they had to get her child taken away from her because she was kind of cuckoo, and she claims she's a Christian influencer. And they are like, no, you're not. Because they say she is popping up all over the place on social media, doing all kinds of things, and nothing seems sane that she's doing. And she pulls up to Rihanna's house, and she has an AR somebody gun and shoots at Rihanna's home while her and the children were in it. Well, I got the timeline wrong. They said she lost physical custody of her child in April of 2024. They mentioned something else about the latter part of last year, so I got that mixed up. But Rihanna and her kids were in the house. A$AP Rocky was not there. And she made this statement. She's in this video. She says, I don't like her, and she's always trying to steal from me. She says, and she has not ever put out any music to reach people. She only puts out little music so she could do witchcraft and so that she can steal from people. So everybody, please stop. Don't listen to her. Don't follow her, because she's stealing from you. She says in another video, even though the devil and Rihanna are really loud, God and Jesus are doing something, and myself, because the devil, he doesn't want it to be me. He doesn't want me to be a Christian woman of God, because that's what it is. I'm indifferent to Rihanna. I'm indifferent to a lot of your girls, devil. Whole thing. So she was booked on attempted murder on Monday, and she's going to have to face the music. But you know what? Hopefully they put her in some kind of psych ward, because she's not all there. But can you imagine? They said Rihanna was freaking out. I guess so, because you got somebody arbitrarily shooting at your house. You don't know why. You don't know if it's your man's fault. You don't know if it's a crazy fan. You don't know if it's some kind of a stalker. You don't know what it is. And I agree with you, Tamika. She says, what kind of a Christian influence brandishes a gun? That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, what kind of Christian influencer are you? Child. If that's the Christian influencer, I don't want to see what any other influencer can do out here. All right. Yo, for those of you who like Dwight Howard, now, anybody that knows Dwight Howard knows he's Superman of the basketball franchise, and he is really going through, and so is his wife. So they've been, she said they've been married for close to 14 months only. His drug addiction to cocaine has gotten way out of hand, to the point where they came and actually took the daughter out of the house. So CPS has the child, and it's not their child, of course, because, they haven't had, I don't think she's had any children for him. But, there's this big thing, because the other lady in the white on the picture, she is his first child's mother. And when she was complaining about Dwight, this one here, the new wife, was, accusing her of, faking, what she was claiming, and, she wasn't being real, and all of this kind of stuff, and she was lying. Well, now the tables have turned, and now the ball is in her court. And the first, I don't know if she was the wife or not, but the first woman was making the same claims, that he was destroying the house, that, he was on drugs, and the relationship had turned really sour because of his behavior and his, all of his antics. And again, when she got with him, when the new wife got with him, she started talking about, well, the old one, how you do, how you ladies do, the old one ain't got no real claims, they ain't valid, and they making stuff up. Well, now she's singing an entirely different tune, because she's saying, it's all about the kids, and I got to do what I need to do for the kids, and we got to keep him out of the house, but we got to worry about getting these kids back. Oh boy, such a talent. And I don't think he's playing anymore. But when I looked at All-Star Weekend, and he actually was one of the judges for the slam dunk contest. Now, like I said, he's known as Superman of the slam dunk contest. And he was in there for quite a few years, because he was kind of like the reigning slam dunk champion. Slam dunk contest is straight whack. Half of the time, they don't even make the dunks. And they had him actually as a judge. So he's still out there. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I hate to hear talent and stuff like that go straight down the drain. They just give their lives away to crime and these stupid drugs. I hate it. All right. And one of the last stories I have. So I don't know how many of you actually attend the Essence Awards. I'm sorry, the Essence Fest that takes place every July 4th in New Orleans. And I know people who have gone and they claim it is fantastic. They always have a wonderful lineup of um, actresses because it's primarily women. Um, uh, what do you call it? They promote women, really. And they really, I know a lot of men who have gone and they really enjoy it. So anybody can attend, but the lineup of women singers and authors and presenters and panelists and things like that, they say have been incredible. So unfortunately, they are preparing. Well, let's go fortunately first. Fortunately, they are preparing for this upcoming July, and they have already booked Cardi B. They have booked Lotto. They have booked Kalani. They've booked Brandy and Monica and Patti LaBelle. They've got, of course, more to be added as the coming weeks go on. You know, they just started dropping names. Well, unfortunately, they owe one of the convention center that's responsible for the production and operations. They owe them $406,000 from last year. And there's another claim that another local production company, they owe $1 million to. Now, here's what could possibly be the problem. Over the years, you know, it's kind of taken a dive since COVID. You know, they could not be out there in 2020. They couldn't be out there in 2021. And people have not actually resumed attendance at the droves that they used to. Well, I can tell you one of the reasons why, because it's too expensive. You know, but look who they're paying. They're paying Patti LaBelle and Cardi B, and you know they're paying all these people. And they got to pay them top notch, because I checked for Patti LaBelle tickets, and her tickets alone are over $200 when she's by herself. So you know, I don't know what she's charging them to perform, but you know they've been, you know, kind of lagging in attendance. And you know, I don't know. Did I mention? No, I saw in the news that the CEO, Clarence Owens, has passed away. And he was there when I used to work there. A very nice man. So I don't know what's happened since, like, because there were two of them. It was Clarence Owens, and I can't think of the other person's name. But I don't know what's happened since, you know, because I'm sure he didn't die working there. I'm sure he probably retired by now and things like that. But yeah, you know, it costs a lot of money to actually host these, you know, awards. And if you charge people, you know, if you charge it back to the people what it costs you, because listen, they are there for the entire weekend. Not only are they there for the entire weekend, they're there for a holiday weekend. Not only are they there for the holiday weekend, but they're using the whole Superdome. So imagine what that must cost. Now, back in the day, it was nothing to charge, you know, to charge people something, and because you had the attendance, but the attendance has scaled back, and you know, you may not have the money. Well, clearly they don't, because if you come in almost $500,000 to one production company and $1 million to another production company, that's $1.5 million in the red you are already. So what are you charging this year that's going to help to eat up last year? So probably, you know, the two production companies will probably coast on the fact that you're booking, you know, big names and you're going to make the money, but that's keeping your fingers crossed, because I'm sure they hoped that last year. And I'm going to tell you something, because I've been at this for a long time. If you find, because it used to happen with us, and I know if it was what happened with Petty Me, I'm sure Essence Communications, and they are no longer Essence Communications, by the way. They are now the parent company of the festival is Sundial Media Group. And that's not the way it used to be. Nope. Essence Communications ran Essence Magazine, and they were the ones who hosted the awards. Now all these kind of hands get changed and all that kind of stuff. So who knows? But what I was saying was, they actually allow you to use the space if they know they're getting their money. So that's probably what happened last year too. They probably let them use the space. They probably, had to pay them off in order to even be able to come back. And the production company, they probably front them the work and the employees and everything, because they get hit off when, everything is done. And they weren't able to meet the dollars last year. So they're walking into 2026 with a hefty debt. And I'm sure they're hoping that they make their money back. So we'll see what happens, because eventually that's going to fold if they continue to run in the red. So who's on with me? I think I saw Pastor Jeff pop up on the screen. Let me talk to Pastor Jeff and see what's going on with him. It's just he and I right now. Hey, Pastor
how you
Jeff.
doing? All right.
I'm all right, thanks. How are you?
Good.
Oh, okay. Well, before we get started, let's all, say a prayer for our brother Ainsley and his family. He's had death in the family, and it's been very recent. So we're just going to keep them lifted in prayer, and that's probably why he's not on this morning. So that's why we don't have our brother Ainsley. But we're happy to have you, Pastor Jeff. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Happy to have me too.
I can always rely on you, Pastor Jeff. All right, so let me see what we're talking about here, because we did straight celebrity news this morning. I didn't do any person-to-person news. So we talked about the actors who have not been nominated for an Oscar. Black actors who definitely deserve to be nominated, and not only nominated, but get their awards. Who do you think is missing from that list?
You can't ask me that. I don't keep up.
You don't know?
Actors
Just
like
say you
that.
don't know.
That's your thing.
Just say. Actually, it's not my thing, really. It's just, you just hear things, you see things, but we mentioned people like Don Cheadle, Sam Jackson, Idris Elba, Angela Bassett. Those people, who really rock the screen, they have not received any, not only awards, but they haven't even been nominated. Angela Bassett was nominated twice, and she never received anything. But you're talking about powerhouses such as Samuel Jackson, Lawrence Fishburne,
Denzel
and like I said, Don
Washington.
Cheadle. Well, Denzel got he was one who, he's a recipient. So, but for the ones that have not, and Tamika is reminding us of Eddie Murphy has not received any. Will Smith, even prior to the whole incident, he hasn't gotten any, and he's done his thing. So, when you hear those names and that they haven't received any Oscar awards, what's your thought?
It's a shame, because those guys that you named, they've been out there for years and they've been doing their thing. They started so many blockbusters.
Yep.
So why haven't they? Must be a black thing, huh?
Yeah, we wonder. Pastor Jeff, Shantice and I always talk about this, and we talk about the fact that why don't they just go ahead and make their own awards? Why are they waiting for someone to acknowledge them when they can just do it themselves? Why do you think they don't do it themselves?
Because they want to be part of that clique.
Yeah. You're right.
But they should. They should honor their own selves and have our own Oscars,
Right. But I'm not gonna sit back and wait for somebody to acknowledge me and I see that they're not.
But every time we do that, it seems like we in trouble, because the Kobe was thinking about putting together his own NBA thing, and he dead. And then Bill
Wow.
Cosby was thinking about buying a certain network, and then he ended up, really dead because they put him in
Right,
jail
right.
and killed his rep. And you can go on and on.
Wow.
So people might be scared to separate from the powers that be.
Wow. Well, that's a thought, Pastor Jeff. That's a thought. Wow. Well, I didn't know anything about. Well, you know what? I can't say that because now that you mention it, that Kobe Bryant thing was I did hear about that vaguely. I vaguely remember hearing about that. And I didn't realize that people were actually making a connection. I didn't know that Bill Cosby was planning to buy a network. I did not know about that one. So maybe you're onto something. Maybe they're afraid. I don't know if I just take my chances.
Puff Daddy was getting ready to make a power move, and a big power move, and look what they did. I know he was. Forget that he did what they said.
Right, I got what you're saying.
These guys are scared, and these guys got skeletons too.
Okay, well, maybe you're onto something. Maybe on something that I have not actually considered myself. Let's talk about Dwight Howard. He's unfortunately, the word is out that he has a huge drug addiction, and it's been going on for quite some time. The first woman that he was with, I just can't seem to figure out whether that was her husband or not. But the woman on the right side, in the white, but she has his first child, and she had been complaining. I think she was the one who was part of Basketball Wives, and she was talking about what she was going through with him and his behavior and all the stuff. And then he got married to this second woman, and she's from Love and Hip Hop, and she is now 14 months in to this marriage, and now they have taken the child away because he kept doing things that drew the authorities to the house. And finally CPS came through, and when they left, they took the child. So now she's devastated, trying to get the family back together. And now the one in the white is saying, yo, when I was telling you about this stuff, you weren't listening. You told me I was lying and I was making up stuff and it wasn't really that serious, blah blah blah. But now that is you in the driver's seat or the passenger seat, however you want to say this. Hey, you now see what I'm talking about. What say you about this whole Dwight Howard thing? What's your thought?
I mean, you got people that have problems and addictions, and he plenty of money and caught up in that. What can you say? He's doing what drug addicts do, and tearing his family apart. What's to say? She probably knew what she was getting with.
Right.
I'm sure he was doing it while they was dating.
And that's what I said, Pastor Jeff.
But she wanted the fame and the money and all of that, and that's what's gonna come with it if you're dealing with Dwight.
Right. Because I said the same thing. I'm like, okay, well, if you dated him and this other chick was already talking, you had to have seen signs that he was drug addicted. So you pushed the envelope, you decided to marry him, and now you all twisted because now your family ain't your family. So now, the egg is in your face because you were told, and that's what the other chick keeps saying. I warned you. I warned you. Now, I don't know whose child this is because this is not this new wife's child, but having money and fame and fortune, and it's not all it's cracked up to be, is it, Pastor Jeff?
Well, how would I know? I ain't famous.
You know what?
Money I have.
Neither do I, Pastor Jeff, but I know it ain't all it's cracked up to be, simply because we see the evidence. If it was all
Well,
that great, that all these people would not be falling and suffering and going through all of this stuff. If it was just wonderful to be, rich and famous,
listen,
so
it depends on who you ask, because some people will say it is what it's cracked up to be. You know, there was a point in my time when I had a few pennies, and I enjoyed myself. you know,
okay,
money,
okay,
money answers all things. you know
okay,
what I'm saying?
okay.
Like when you're in that, especially when you're in that simple life, man. I enjoyed what a few dollars could get me, and
Mm,
the power I had over people because of it. You know.
okay, okay, okay.
So you ask some of them cats there, listen, they 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 look at the poor and say, nah, I couldn't do that. Because they so used to that. Ask Trump's
Right.
kids. You look at Trump's kids,
Mm,
they'll be like, oh no, we can never do that. You know?
mm, okay. Well, like you said, I mean, it's about perspective and the area you come from. And you're right. There are people who are just like, I don't care what heartache money brings. I'd rather be, rich and upset than to be poor and happy. But I don't know. I'll always say, God, I sure could use $1 million or so dollars. I could, if I had $10 million, I could do this, 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 and this. And then you go and you look at the articles that they have, Pastor Jeff, where these people have hit the lotto for millions of dollars.
Mhm.
And a few years later, they're broke. Their families are torn apart. A lot of their money is in litigation because family come up, they creep in out of nowhere making claims. And so they don't even get a chance to really enjoy their money. So sometimes I say, I guess I'll stay poor Jesus.
Listen, you have to be taught, and most people have not been taught what to do
Right.
with money.
With money, you're right.
Money's, can be the what do you call the magic wand, or it could be a hot coal in your hand, depending
Right.
on really your education and your discipline.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dwight, whether he was poor or rich, would have probably been a drug addict.
You think so? You
Yeah,
don't think the money kind of
the money
pushed him
made
there?
him. The money gave him access to more drugs. But
Mm,
poor, the issue was not the money. He had the issue, and the money is just putting it on the forefront. But you got a lot of poor folks that are drug addicts, but
right, right.
they can't get too much drugs because they don't have no money.
Okay, okay. That's a thought. That's a thought. Maybe he would have been a drug addict anyway. But now he's a rich drug addict.
Mhm. And
Okay,
everybody can see it because everybody cares
right,
to see. But the
right,
poor
right,
drug addict, he slips through the cracks because nobody's looking,
right,
nobody cares.
right, right. And they see him, but they don't see him.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense, Pastor Jeff. All right. Shanti says, Tamika says they could have she's talking about Rihanna and the Christian influencer who shot at her house. She says this could have went left if ASAP was there. And Shanti says regarding the awards, start their own awards. If that's what God has for you to do, no one else will be able to close that door. What say you about that? What's your response to something like that, Pastor Jeff? Being that you brought up this thing where, these people were aiming to do this, and people higher up who didn't want to see them flourish in that, project, they sabotage them, kill them, whatever situation is. Shanti says, listen, if God has it for you, then no one can close that door. How do you respond to that one?
Shanti, that's coming from you that know God. You talk about these people, most of them don't know God. So they're not going to ride on that. A lot of them God is Satan. You understand? And they, they might not be willing to totally sell their soul to that for that. So, that's good for us. Yeah, God say do it, let's do it, because we know God is for us, and not against us. But those people, a lot of those people don't know God. They're not saved, and even when they get up there and say, "I want to thank God," it ain't the same God that we talking about.
Good point, Pastor Jeff. Good point. Really good point. Whereas, like you said, we walk in a level of confidence, and that confidence is faith. We don't know how things are going to turn out, but we trust God for it. But like you said, these people, when they're looking at, like you said, the result. So let's say, for argument's sake, they're sharing the belief that, look, Diddy was on the brink of doing something, and look, their timing, quote unquote, of getting to him, and Kobe and Bill Cosby and anyone else, they targeted them after, they have a different mindset if you're in the world, because like you said, they don't know. They don't know who to trust, how to trust, what to trust. And that fear of, being destroyed by man, opposed to standing up and letting God protect you. If you're not, again, it's a learned behavior. Like you said, about the drugs, about the money, learned behavior. We learn to trust God. That don't come, right away. So I actually like that point. You're talking some stuff here today, Pastor Jeff. Is it because you're going solo?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I have to, right? I can't rely on anybody else.
Oh my goodness. Well, Shanti says absolutely. That's how we know it wasn't meant for them to get it done. All right, I'll accept that one. I'll take that one. Well, Pastor KL has joined us. Let's say good morning. Good morning, Pastor KL.
Good morning, good morning. I'm not sure how long I'll be here, but I'm here now. Good morning, good morning.
All right, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Well, I have an item, and I wanted to know what you guys thought of this today. So, they're talking about this sleeper cell. And for those of you who don't know what a sleeper cell is, let me read it to you. They call a sleeper cell is a group of secret agents who live in another country and appear to live normal lives. So what they do is they come in from other countries and they just blend in with everybody. They get jobs, they have families, they do everyday things, and then they are notified by the people who sent them here to now exact some type of spying or some type of sabotage or even terrorist attacks. And what's happened is this is coming up now big time ever since February 28th, when the bomb or the attack or whatever you want to call it took place. And now they're saying that they have issues of being concerned now because they're like, is this going to awaken the sleeper cell? So let's stop right there and let's just talk about, do we believe that there are sleeper cells existing in the United States, or what the evidence is that they're existing in the United States, Pastor KL?
Well, first of all, with things being so diverse as they are, I can't see how you can come in here and just kind of mix and mingle, and we don't know who you are. I mean, a lot of things have your accents, your this, your that. A lot of things will kind of throw you off, unless you agents who are actors. You know what I mean? And you're able to just come in and do it like that. I don't think Trump is not going to allow that. He gonna blow us up just to get them out of it. You know what I mean? We're all gonna be casualties. So no, I don't think that will work.
Okay, okay. Pastor Jeff, what say you?
Yeah, I believe there's definitely sleeper cells, and if they're not sleeper cells, there's people here that believe what the other side, and they're waiting to for something to give them the reason to do what they do. Like those two that they tried to blow up Mandami's home recently. The mayor's home or whatever. They, I consider them sleeper cells. you know.
Okay, okay, okay. Wait, I'll weigh in since it's only the three of us. So my opinion is, would it be harder for them to enter into the United States now? I agree with you 100%, Pastor Kale, because Trump ain't letting nobody in, without doing body cavity checks. But he just got in here. So, these people, they come in from years ago. They're raising families here. So their children are now adults, and they are actually, they've trained their children to become a part of this set. So I honestly believe that they're absolutely here. And I look at some of the terrorist attacks that we've had. So there were 2 attacks on the World Trade Center. And they were right here. They were right here. They didn't fly in, that morning. They were already here. And that, to me, indicates that there are sleeper cells here. And they're waiting, as they say, to receive instruction to just kind of do what they do, set out on their mission. And that I think that it's been going on before they were even calling it sleeper cells. I think a lot of people are over here in the United States that don't belong here for the right reason. And here's the thing. So, and they confirmed it in this article. So I told y'all this is what I did. When people want to come to America, they need to be sponsored by someone. So what they do is Jeff Burns say, you know what, I want to sponsor Mary Johnson and, Kobe Johnson from Africa. So what you do is you now lay your life out in the open. You have to prove that not only are you working, but I have to, as a payroll administrator, I have to write a letter that says how long you've been working there, what your salary is, and what's your probability of continued employment. Because they don't want Hazel and Kobe to get here, and then you ain't got no money to support them. You have to show where you live. So you got to go to your landlord or show like your house credentials, and prove that you got to show what you do on a regular basis. They make you lay your life out because you're sponsoring these people coming here, and what you're saying is when they get here, you're going to help them find a job, you're going to take care of them, blah 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 blah. So they know if you come here that way, what and who you are, what you're going to be doing and who you are. Now they kind of what's the word I want to say? They confirmed it in this article to say that's what you're supposed to do when you come here. And that way they're supposed to have a better handle on if you belong to a sleeper cell. What do you think that they should have a better handle, Pastor Jeff?
I'm not a better handle. Like,
Meaning they should know. So in other words, how you come here as a sleeper cell and this person then vouch for you? Because that's what you do. You vouching for them and you're saying, I'm gonna take care of them, I'm gonna be watching what they do. They're coming here to be a model citizen, and they're coming here to, be good for the country. They're gonna work, they're gonna be productive. But yet they claim that some of these people come through legally as a sleeper cell, part of a sleeper cell. So that goes back to kind of what Pastor KL was saying, like Trump is not going to let them. But my question to you is, do you think they'll slip through the cracks, even coming through legally like that?
there's always ways to get through. I mean, they'll figure out ways. They just like anytime, that like cyber stuff. We invent stuff to stop this. The other side invents it to get past that. So you're always going to have to slip through the cracks, because they're always going to find a way, and you got to step up your technology. But it's always going to be, back and forth. The criminal gets smarter, and then the law, the feds get smarter, and then the criminals get smarter than them. It's going to be a back and forth.
Okay. Pastor KL, with these plans in place, it sounds like you're saying this is how they would be prevented from coming in if they came in like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. But to Pastor Jeff's point, if a mouse, can see a hole, he gonna get through. Saying they have no spines.
Absolutely.
I mean? So they're gonna go straight through. And look at it from another standpoint. What's the difference between, someone getting out of jail? Now they have to parole to someone's house. Someone has to vouch for them that they're gonna stay at my house, and he's gonna be okay. And then he go back out there and sell drugs again. There's no bulletproof plan for this thing.
Right.
My own family can't vouch for family. You understand what I'm saying? Because no one knows the mind of a man. So yeah, it's difficult.
Absolutely. I agree, because here's my thing. They claim that one of the biggest issues with the sleeper cell is, like I described to you, they said that these people come here and they blend in, they work, they get regular jobs, they have families, they blend into everyday activities, they join the PTA, they join the community boards, they join all these kind of things, but yet they're a part of a sleeper cell. Well, if you've been here for 20 years and you are silently a part of the sleeper cell, then you know how to get your people up in here. You know what to do, you know what to say, you know how to vouch for them and say, yes, I work here and I'm going to get this is my income, and yes, I live here, and this is my housing, and yes, I do this, and yes, I do that, and yeah, my life might be an open book, but I've lived here long enough that I look normal. So yeah, I know how to get the people across the line, because I already know what to do. Now they claim that they are concerned because ever since this war has started, what's going to happen now? Are they going to awaken the sleeper cells that already exist? So that's why this whole article is, this topic is coming up, because they're saying that now that somebody didn't push the button, there are actually more buttons pushed to actually make the FBI, the CIA, all of these, high-tech government agencies send their antennas up to say, we're going to have to be just a little more watchful than we used to be, because now you didn't poke the bear. Do you agree with that, Pastor Jeff?
I definitely do. I mean, you see, Iran is like, yo, we're not backing down. You came at us, and of course they're gonna every sleeper cell, everything. This stuff is really about to really jump off here behind that Trump. You understand? All that stuff is about to happen. They getting up. They're gonna try to blow up stuff. they fighting back. They ain't laying down.
Yeah. And that's something that, in my opinion, Trump disregarded. He disregarded the possibility of the sleeper cells. You think that whatever's happening, you're going to be able to see it coming. And just like you described, they're already here. So they already know how to do things secretly. They say they have found numerous ways to launch whatever it is they're going to launch once they decide to do so. We got a comment from Tamika. She says the sleeper cells have been in place longer than any president in office. I agree. So, like Pastor KL said, now that Trump is in office, but again, like I said, if we do go back to even 9/11 alone, they were here already. So now you've got, like you said, Pastor Jeff, now you didn't really, really messed up, because now you have awakened these cells, because I'm sure they know one, these cells. And here's what they're concerned about, Pastor Jeff. They're concerned that they're partnering. So they're saying while the FBI could be looking at, let's say, Iran to one, and the Iranians, they have partnered with other people. So knowing that the eye might be on them, they have kind of put their hands on other people to actually work their sleeper cells. Make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so you're really stupid.
Iran has allies. Okay.
Right.
So, and the Chinese are connected to Iran. So they got plenty of allies, and but you voted Trump in, and this is what we gotta suffer.
Yeah. This is for real now. Y'all thought it was a joke. He's always had his finger on the button, even when he was in office before, and y'all just dismissed all of this.
They hated blacks so much. You understand? Till they put him in office. Get rid of these blacks, and now look what you got to deal with. Look what you got to deal with. Get rid
of the blacks. Yep.
The blacks. You should be fearful to go to the Empire State Building, to any of those buildings. All of that, now you got to be fearful to go to college. You don't know where they're gonna strike.
Yeah.
To travel anywhere.
You're right.
Look at Dubai.
You're right.
That's the
right.
place a lot of us
right.
go. And look what's that.
Yep. We just talked about that on Monday. That they were stuck there. I don't know if they're still stuck there, but you're right. They're stuck there now but here was what came out, that Americans were stuck because the other countries were able to send planes and let them book flights to get out to go into like Italy and all of these kind of places where their people were there in Dubai. Americans had to sit and wait until they could get out. And they were even thinking on, like, don't go directly into the United States. So we'll go from Dubai to Germany, from Germany to Italy, from Italy to United States. And they were like, no, because they said they had to have visas. Passports were not going to do it. They had to have visas to get all around. So they couldn't even make a move, period. Not just come to United States, but if you were an American with an American passport, you couldn't budge. So you're absolutely right. Even to the degree of traveling, vacationing, they put a monkey wrench in that. All because,
I wouldn't want to go nowhere right now. You fly through them skies,
Yeah.
It's like Trump done really set the powder keg off. Who could be comfortable traveling anywhere right now? because
Right.
you even got the other countries angry at us. You know,
Right. Because that also came up in the article. They were talking about the Chinese and the Russians partnering because they're angry. They're angry at what Trump has done. So it's like, okay, so you didn't own, you may have set off, a bomb or whatever to that one location, but that one movement messed up everything for everybody. So now you're to blame. So now they're like, okay, well, we're not only worrying about, like you said, the Iranians, we worried about all the other, the Chinese, the Russians, this one and that one. And now it's a big mess. Anika says, yes, the subway system is very vulnerable. There's a lot, you're right. So Pastor Jeff, you talked about the airlines and things like that. Anika's talking about just our everyday traveling back and forth to work or locations, just getting back and forth. Not even traveling, Pastor Jeff, just getting back and forth.
Yeah.
We have to be concerned about all of this. Now, the next phase of this article that I wanted to talk about was they said that they are concerned that the FBI can't pick up all of the chatter that would be going on by the sleeper cells. Now, they describe exactly what you said. So based on what has happened in the past, they have upped their intelligence, but yet, like you said, every time we make a move for the good, they make a move for the bad. So the FBI and the CIA are saying, their task has been up so high that they feel that once this goes off, any of the sleeper cells go off, that they would be picking up and neutralize them much quicker than yesterday. What's quicker, Pastor Jeff?
I didn't get
after the subway blows up, after the airline blows up.
Yeah, we already done suffered the casualties.
Right. So now y'all woke, now you're awake. So the other aspect of it, they were saying that, okay, so they can catch the chatter earlier, but they're claiming that they do a lot of catching the chatter and neutralizing that we don't know about, that they don't make this known that they've just caught, Jeff and his sleeper cell, Stephanie and her sleeper cell, KL and his sleeper cell. They don't tell that to the public. They actually do all of this behind the scenes, and they do it without us even knowing it. Do you agree? Do you believe them?
Talking to me?
It's just me and you here, Pastor Jeff.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes. It's just me and you, buddy. That's it.
I think I agree, yeah.
What do you agree? We don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Pretty much, I do believe personally that there are a lot of things that they don't tell us about.
Yeah.
And, they're not supposed to. It's almost like with you and your kids, when you have a big bill and the lights are about to go off because, your wife lost her job, or she's now on break and there's no income, and something happened to your income, and now the light, they're threatening to turn off the lights, and you now borrowing money really quickly just to get the lights back on, because that in another 3 months everything will be back to normal. You don't go and tell your kids that. You don't alert them to that necessarily. And I'm just using that as an example. So no, I'm sure that there are things that we don't know about that the government is doing or handling, quote unquote, that we have no idea of. But I don't believe it's as great as you claim it is. You claim that you're doing all this work behind the scenes, but you keep the public, intact and away from any anxiety or fear. Do you think that they're doing a whole lot of work, or do you think they're just doing they're catching some of the things and they're just trying to make us believe that they're doing a whole lot and they're really not?
I think since Trump got in office, they working their backsides off. Okay, because they probably got so much chatter, so much stuff
Right.
going on, so many threats. And it is, when they do catch some stuff, it's amazing to me how they caught them.
Okay.
It's like, okay, well, I wonder how they caught that from happening. So trust me, I think they're overloaded with that Trump. Okay,
yeah,
they're overloaded.
I agree. I believe that they voted him in. They now realize they underestimated him. And I agree with you that they are now working feverishly to dodge as many bullets as possible. They're working feverishly to stop him from certain things. And he's doing things that he's not authorized to do. He's going rogue.
He's a lunatic. Okay.
Absolutely.
And the thing was, his first term showed you that he was a lunatic. Talk about drinking bleach to kill COVID. Come on.
Yes.
You put him back in office, which makes you a lunatic.
Right. And now you're paying for it. You are now having to eat everything he does, and now you are running around like a chicken with your head cut off. I agree with you. I believe that they're in overload, that they are not going to possibly catch as much as is out there. Go ahead.
If I didn't know God, I'd be very scared right now. You understand? Meaning, like, my hope is built on Christ, so my protection is in Christ.
Right.
Because there is with Trump, he's opened the floodgates to everything. I'm talking about, civil war in the streets, white folks shooting you down with no problem. You know what I'm saying? Terrorists blowing up everything. He has picked on every color, every race. It's like, but I really believe that he was, believe it or not, it was God's will.
Allowance.
He's being used. Okay, this is our punishment.
I agree.
For being how we are.
I agree.
This stuff has got to come to America. We have to pay for all that we have done, all the blood in the streets, all the lynching, all the this, all of that. And Trump is opening up the door for all repayment.
Yep, I agree.
But that's scary.
I agree.
Even us that have been abused in this country, we got to watch out, because we can get blown up with them.
Right. It doesn't make us separate from the casualty possibility. And it's not like we haven't been through enough as a people. And now to have this increase of, alert, it is concerning. And I agree with you. Thank God we know Jesus, because there's that peace beyond all understanding. There's that peace that only Christ can give you, that this world cannot give you. So, while they're trying to appease the world by telling them, oh, we're catching things, we know that ultimately you're not catching as much as you're saying, but we know that we're trusting God. And that
do you not see what this really is, though? Um, think about Moses and when the death angel came in. All right, God's people in the mixed up with Pharaoh's people. You know, in the same bag. That death angel came through, and that's what's happening. Trump has opened up the door for the death angel. Okay, and if you don't have the blood applied, it's not gonna pass over you.
Look at that.
And you got a lot of us that's not applying the blood.
Right. I like that analogy. And I agree 100%. And this is why there's it's almost like God is going in, you know, let's use the street term. God is going in now. He's using a whole lot of us, a lot more than we have been used, because he says, I don't want to see anyone perish. So yeah, a lot of people who have the ability to, you know, just get that doorpost, you know, with that blood on it, they are saying, no, I don't want it. And they're going to have to pay the price for that. But, you know, we're finding that, you know, God is using his people more because this is getting worse. And what is about to go down, you know, not only that, you know, it's time for us to step up and do more. So, you know, a lot of times it's not until you see the detriment, you see the urgency. And now all of us see the urgency. You're meaning his people. All of us see the urgency, you know. So I actually agree with you. I think that's a good analogy. And it's time to wake up, Pastor Jeff, and, you know, stop just hearing, but doing. You know, don't just be a hearer of God's word, be a doer of God's word. Have you shifted, or have you found a shift in how you are reaching out to God's people now, based in comparison to before?
Well, I believe for such a time as this, it's a forced shift for all of us to reach out differently and be more aggressive and more definitive and more holy. You know, God is not no time for no play, and all the false prophets and all the, you know, all the playing and the money lines and all of this stuff. This is not the time for that. You know,
absolutely.
We're living almost in a Jeremiah time. You understand? And we got to preach it to a stiff-necked people and a people that have disobeyed God and reaping you know, some of the stuff from their disobedience, and we got to tell them, put it in their face. Right.
As we're going out, Pastor Jeff, I want to talk really quickly. You said something that kind of sparked Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel, where God said to, you know, the people, listen, I've told you what to give the people. If you give it to them and they don't take it, the blood is on their hands. But if I give it to you and you don't give it to them, the blood is on your hands. Give a word to God's people before you get up out of here in regards to the importance of us delivering God's word as he gives it to us in such a time as this.
Well, the word I already started giving it, but listen, I'm feeling it so strong that this season is different than any season that has ever been on this earth right now. There's a reckoning coming and a straightening out. And I believe God is raising up some real folks. He's calling out some real folks. All that hypocrisy has to go. All that play and making people feel good with the word of God has to change. You know, it's like open up your eyes. Can't you see what's happening? You got these preachers falling by the wayside. You understand? There's stuff being exposed. There's no time for playing. It's some real serious times, and some of us don't realize it. We so stuck in woe is me and my mind, and don't see what's around us. He's destroying. He's trying to destroy our kids. The enemy has come in like a flood, and it's time for God's people to lift up the standard and step into this, this boxing match, with the tools and the skills that God has, gifted us with, and for us to utilize it the way He wants. So I just believe it's no play. We got to get serious. It's not a time that we're gonna just get by. You understand? If we sit by, we're gonna pay a price, because God has called you to thing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pastor Jeff, for your words of encouragement, the word of God, giving you an opportunity to speak directly, solo based today. Thank you for hanging out with Pastor Steph today, and we pray you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
You too. God bless
Thank you.
All right.
Opened up a wonderful dialogue to take us out into the weekend. When I came across this sleeper cell article, it's something that exists. There's sleeper cells here, and again, we don't call them sleeper cells, but we know that these people have already come into the country, and they have kind of laid dormant, if you will, dormant to their ultimate purpose of being here. And they have to blend in, because you got to do something, because again, believe it or not, what we don't know is they monitor you. When you come into this country, they monitor you. We may not see evidence of it. We may forget. We may not realize it, but they monitor you. Why do you think they're asking for all of the person who's sponsoring you, all of their information? It may seem as though they don't ask them a whole lot of questions. They're monitoring you. They're monitoring you. They're monitoring your movement. Why do you think it was so easy when Trump got in office last year? He got in office on July 1st. He was sworn July 1st. By the 3rd, he was already deporting people. Because they already know. Of course, there are people here that they don't know, but a lot of them, they know. And they have not lost track of these people. So here we are in a country where we already know that there are people here that have come here with the intent to harm us. And yet, you as the commander-in-chief, you are setting bombs off. And you're setting off more bombs than what meets the eye. So we saw the bomb go over into another country, and it did the damage, and it killed, the leader and all of this kind of stuff. But yet we don't even know what bombs have been set off right here in America. We don't think we need God. And yet we have evidence that said, hey, this person was very toxic as a president, when he was a president, in between presidencies, and definitely executed. He came back with a vengeance, but he had warned. He had said that, hey, I'm coming back with a vengeance for everybody and everything. Yes, he warned that this is what he would do. And here's what happens when you think you're untouchable. Not him, but those who voted for him. Because I am still amazed at how many Black and Hispanic men voted for this man. And I had someone I was talking to someone the other day, and he said to me, he was like, well, you know, we may not like everything Trump does, but, you know, he's not a bad man. And I'm like, okay, I need Shantice's dictionary, because somebody got to explain to me, define bad. Because I'm big on that too. Stop telling me you're not a bad person. What does God say when he looks at you? So I waited for them to finish talking, and I said, well, I got a question. Has he done anything for you? Let me tell you something. God has got the stuff that comes out of Pastor Steph's mouth. When I tell you I can halt you in your very breath, nice and calmly, I said, tell me what he's done for you. He said, nothing. What has he done for your mother, your sister, your children, your grandchildren? What has he done for those people? Nothing. I said, who is he supposed to do something for as the president? This is America. I said, are you all Americans that I just asked about? Yeah. So tell me how he's not a bad person when he's done nothing for you. How have you been in office for an entire year, and all anyone can see you involved in is a bunch of melee deportations, but nothing positive? In 1 year, all of this chaos has taken place. ICE, they are out of control, blah, 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 blah. Started naming these things. I said, so help me with, he's not a bad person. Because see, once you're the person in charge of anything, and you are self-serving, you are prejudiced against any group of people. So whether it's females, whether it's children, whether it's male, whether it's a race, whether it's a religion, regardless, that's not supposed to be what you're about. Because when you were voted in as president, you were voted in to be president over the body of people who are Americans. I said, so even with his zeal and zest to put all of the undocumented or immigrants out, if you did that, let's say for argument's sake, you did it nicely, you did it, the way it should be done. There was no, killing people and raping people and all of this, or sending them to countries. Even if you did it the right way, and you got rid of every person who did not belong in the United States, what have you done in a year for the people of the United States? You have been so focused on all of this that you have not been able to do anything for the American people. But yet you say that he's not bad. Well, we're going to have to work on our terminology. We're going to have to work on our definitions. We're going to have to work on our understanding. Because when you can say things like this, and this is like nothing for you to say, then I'm worried. Because now that's what happened with the black man and the Hispanic man that voted for him. I know someone, a black man who voted, who's married to a Hispanic woman. He voted all for MAGA. And yet, family can't visit family. The family he's married in can't visit the other family members because they scared to move because they may be deported. This is who you put this in office where your own family is now hiding and running scared, and you are patting yourself on the back. When are we going to take responsibility for what we do? When are we going to really, really zoom in to what the reality is? But see, here's the thing. The enemy is infamous for presenting himself as an angel of light. And you don't think you're being duped? You better keep your eyes open. And the only way you can keep your eyes open, your head together, your ears, your heart and your spirit together is to give it to God. Because when we're working on our own flesh and spirit, we all jacked up. Every single one of us, not just you, not just me, every single body. We can't trust our flesh and spirit. The Bible itself says you can't even trust your own heart. How are you trusting your flesh and spirit? These things belong to God already. Give them back to God so he can shape and mold them into what he needs it to be, what he has designed it to be, so that you can be woke. That you can see things and it's like, I see it. That God can use you. How many of us claim we're Christian people and God can't do a thing with us? We so scared, we hiding over in the corner, we don't want to do this, we don't want to touch that, we don't want nobody to tell us this, we don't want nobody to tell us that. So then I ask them, what's your operational purpose? What you here for? How much of a blessing are you to someone else? And not just one person. We have a responsibility. Pastor Jeff said it very well. And like I said, it's in Ezekiel. We have to move. We're not just saying we're Christian people and we just paralyzed. Christian people are not paralyzed. They move. They don't function unless they move. Oh, they don't feel comfortable if they're not moving. You cannot sit in a chair, do nothing, and really, really believe that God is happy with your life. You might as well be sinful. You might as well just go ahead and stay out there with the enemy. Because God expects, he says, listen, my harvest is just huge, but the workers are few. Because what it takes to be a worker for Christ, what it takes to work for God, you're going to have to be made of something. You can't let fear have you paralyzed. You can't let extra concerns have you paralyzed. You can't let all of these things distract you. Because then you can't really do what God needs you to do. That's why this whole land is full of people, and it's about this many people who God can rely on. You've got to be passionate about this thing. The same way you ask God for a job. This thing, that I gotta tell you something. You want to really wreck my nerves? Tell me you praying for a job, but yet nobody can get you to go to church. Tell me you praying for a job. You asking people to pray for a job, but you can't get to church. God don't have a solid month of you getting to church. I don't care which day you go on, Sabbath or Sunday. Let God work on that part. But there's no dedication to God. But everybody praying for a job. I need a job. God, you're going to have to increase my finances so I can pay my bills, so I can pay my rent, so I can buy my clothes and my food and this and that. And yet God can't get you in a church building. It's almost like what Shanti said that morning when she said, y'all will go and lay down in a coffin, but you won't go sit in a pew. So here's what you're saying to God. You're saying to God, God, if you give me this job, I'm going to do that job. If they give me 40 hours a week, I'm going to go 40 hours a week. If not, I'll ask for more. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to be diligent about working. I'm going to do all of this, but I can't give you 1 day out of 7. I'm going to give them 5 and 6 days. 8 hours, at least 8 hours a day. But when somebody invites me to church, I need to know how long church service is. How long y'all in there? I don't answer that question anymore. Stop asking me that. How many hours you spend on the job? We're in there from 10:30. And when the Lord says out, we're out. And you don't see us rushing. You do not see us rushing. I have never seen a group of people. Now I'm going to tell you something. This ministry was given to me back in July of 2012. So we have had a whole lot of circulation of people. I've never seen in this group of people, no matter which set it was, nobody wants to go anywhere. I done went to bed on these people. And I wake up and I hear them still laughing and joking and everything. That's the way fellowship is supposed to be. Not this, well, I got something to do. Stop planning things. Stop planning things. You don't plan things during work hours. You don't plan things between the hours of 9 and 5. So stop planning things on the day you go into service. And that's Saturday and Sunday. I've had pastors from Sunday worship tell me it's the same thing. It's, well, how long is this, a short service or a long service? Now, it's one thing if you're in there and you're just there. But it's another thing if you're there and it's productive time. And everybody's service is not going to be the same. God has me running service a certain way. I have to run the service based on who I have. Now, you may go to church and they may have the big cathedral and this and that, and they do this and, they do, and God bless them. However, God has them doing their service, that's how they do their service. But God has me doing service the way he has me doing service. And there are no complaints. Plain simple as that. But when it comes to this church versus work, it amazes me. And I'm like, what is this? God is supposed to just pour out all of this so you can have your finances and your life taken care of, but yet he can't rely on you to do anything. You don't come to church, you don't show up, you don't call, you don't let people know what's going on. I'll tell you, I've been at this for 14 years. 14 years, and I've watched how certain people move. And I'm saying, but yet you want God to do what? And yet God got to cipher everything out of you. When you there, you looking in the phone and all kinds of things, and you up and down to the bathroom. And I'm like, wow, this is what we want from God. But yet we hear the state of America. We hear the state of the world. Because the people from America visited Dubai, and now they are subjected to what's going on in Dubai. So it ain't just the United States that they are dealing with. They're dealing with the other countries. We have to give our lives to God in order to find peace in the midst of chaos. And I am one who can tell you, God can give you peace regardless of what's going on. And you want to make sure that this is what you are doing. You want to make sure that this is what you're focused on. Stop putting your head everywhere. Stop. And give God his just due. Until then, like Pastor Jeff said, I need to know God right about now. With all that chaos that's going on, I really need to know God right now. I can't throw caution to the wind and just hope that everything is okay. I need to have some confidence that God is really distinctly watching Stephanie and mine. I need to know that when I pray for my girls and my granddaughter and my aunt and my cousins and my niece and my nephew and my sister and my father and my brother and that prayer is being heard and being honored. How in the world? I want to ask you a rhetorical question before we go. If you don't know God, you can't be a praying person. Can't be. Because what are you trusting God for? Are you telling God that this is a one-sided operation? This is a one-sided relationship? So on earth, your relationship with the person, you getting it in, you digging, you showing them you love them, you showing them you care, you buying them stuff. You got to prove yourself. But when it comes to God, you're praying, relying on God to come through, but yet God can't rely on you for anything. Telling somebody that God is in your heart, I'm really trying to figure out, where does that rate on the Richter scale for God? How does that even work? How? And we want the best. We want safety, we want comfortability, we want reliability, we want homes, we want, and I don't mean a home structure, I mean just a home, an apartment, in a hut, it doesn't matter. You want food, you want clothing, you want a job and a source of income, you want all of this stuff. But really ask yourself, what am I giving God? How can God look at me? And when he looks at me, what does he say? Does he say, you know what, Stephanie, you're giving back? Because we can never beat God giving it. We could definitely not match it. But what are we doing? Have we found every excuse in the book not to go to church? I don't like this church. I don't like that church. I think this person is too strict. I think this one too lenient. I don't like the way they play the music over there. I don't like the way they dance. I don't like the way they sing. I don't like the way they do this. I don't like the way they do that. They too harsh. They too cruel. They too stiff. They too this. And yet you go nowhere. Do you think that that's satisfactory to God? That you have found every reason in the book not to go to any church? Any, all the churches in this world, all the churches in the United States, you go nowhere. And are you really saying that God is pleased with this? Because you've got 90 excuses. It's too cold, it's too hot, it's too snowy, it's too rainy. But if you got a job, guess what? There'll be zero. You're going to put that hat on. You're going to put that coat on. If you got kids, you bundling them up to get them to a daycare center, to get them to a school. But if it's church, it's too cold. They sick. They got one leg, one toe broke. Every excuse in the world. And I just listen and I just shake my head. Because at the same time, I hear these same people asking and expecting something of God. And I say to myself, but you just asked God for a job. You can't call on people and tell them, because it's 0 outside, I can't make it. They're expecting you to come. If they're opening up them doors, they're expecting you to be there. Are you going to call them and tell them it's too cold outside? It's too hot outside? It's too rainy? It's snowing? No. You go on that job, but yet let it come to God. And please understand that God is watching this. I'm not just saying this because I just don't have anything to say. I'm allowing you to just be keyed in. God is watching. And that sleeper cell could be right next door to you. And I don't necessarily mean for a terrorist attack on this country. When I say that sleeper cell could be laying right next to you in that bed, we try to figure out why our families are in such turmoil. Figure it out. Why are our families in such turmoil? We ain't getting along with one another. We can't talk to one another. We can't agree on anything. Why? Who's in it and who's not? If you're in it, are you in it the way God needs you to be in it? And you hoping, again, we don't want to give God anything, but we're hoping for all of this to take place. We want these grand lives. But yet when it comes to God, he's the lowest thing on the totem pole. Please choose Jesus today if you have not already done so. Please find a Bible-believing church and get there. Now that the weather's changing, let me see what the excuse is going to be. Let me see what the excuse is going to be. Let's see what you come up with now. What you telling God now? Because when I say me, I don't literally mean me. But what are you telling God why you can't get to church? I can't find one I like. Can I be honest with you? You ain't going to like that job. You ain't going to like everything on that job. You're not going to like everybody on that job. You're not going to like every rule on that job. But guess what? You're going to keep going back every single day. Keep going back. You're going to tolerate it. You're going to tolerate it. You find a Bible-believing church. That's the first step. Because if you think you're going to get along with everybody, you think the pastor going to be saying something that you like every week, you think that you're going to enjoy every bit, the wall paint and the carpeting and the location and all of this. You really think that all of this is going on? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This is not customized for you. God has in place everything that he wants in place. You got to fit yourself into that mold. God ain't trying to fit that the opposite way. That's for you to do. Not for him to customize everything for you. You have got to look in that word of God and make sure that you parallel yourself with everything that word of God tells you to do. And you want to find a church that teaches you what the word of God says. Those of you who are going to these churches and they are celebrating things and doing things that's not biblical, better talk to God. I don't care if it's across the street. I don't care if it's in the building. I don't care if it's next door. You better make sure that they are a Bible-believing church, or either that you and everybody else going down. Because the Bible says, study yourself, study to show yourself approved. So don't just be sitting there listening to people. I don't care who the leader is. Make sure you are studying so that you know that everything that they're giving you is accurate, that you're following everything that is accurate. Have a wonderful weekend in the Lord. Please go back and view, go back and listen, pay attention to everything that was said, because this stuff is life-changing and life-saving. Life-saving. You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew for joining us today and just sending us into a thought-provoking weekend. Thank you for hanging out with us all week, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and keeping that chat room alive. Please do not miss this opportunity to give Christ your life right now. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later is not promised to any of us. Until Monday, God spares, where we'll be shaking the Monday morning blues all over again. Until then, I love you.